Speaker, I yield 5 minutes to the chair of the Subcommittee on Higher Education and Workforce Investment and the lead sponsor of the legislation we're considering today, the gentlelady from California, Ms. Davis.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Chairman Scott, for being a strong partner over the years in recognizing the importance of investing in America's workforce development. While we look to the robust apprenticeship systems of Switzerland, the UK, and other countries, we know that the United States has the potential to have our own unique, highly effective environment for a mentor-led workforce. And today, we can put resources behind our need to match employers addressing community needs with our constituents who seek skills and education. At a time when many workers have been forced to look for new pathways to financial stability, we have a responsibility as members of Congress to expand employment opportunities that provide meaningful work and family-supporting wages. The legislation under consideration today will do just that. We have had many conversations in our Ed and Labor Committee about providing high-quality educational pathways, and I appreciate the work of the ranking member on that regard, and we've spent much time together talking about this issue. But I want to go on to pinpoint those issues that have to be included. The educational pathways that we know do not require a four-year college degree, that allow people to earn while they learn, make sense, and provide nationally portable and recognized credentials. We have tirelessly worked for months with our Republican colleagues to make sure this legislation achieves these goals. This past March, just before the world changed as we know it, we made public a draft of this legislation that was open for feedback. We were able to incorporate comments from over 20 groups and stakeholders. And this legislation also incorporated feedback from the bipartisan hearings and roundtables we had with employers and apprenticeship stakeholders. One of the legislation's primary goals is to ensure that people across the country are speaking the same language regarding apprenticeships. It is designed to demonstrate that apprenticeships are an equal, high-quality, post-secondary, prestigious alternative to the traditional 2- or 4-year college degree. Of great interest, this bill codifies youth apprenticeships as opportunities that prepare high school students for post-secondary education, much like advanced placement classes. You know, we have already seen how a small investment firm from the federal government results in enormous returns. In 2017, the insurance company Aon started their business in Chicago with only 2 employers and 25 apprentices. Now, they have over 50 employees and over 750 apprentices all across the country. In fact, they have announced the expansion of their Chicago apprenticeship network to cities and employers across the country who are following their lead in looking at registered apprenticeship credentials as alternatives to a 4-year degree. But here is the key. As the CEO of Aon himself stated, and I quote, "The biggest obstacle to success at scale is not in finding a qualified supply of talent, it is incenting employers to create the demand for quality career track jobs that look beyond traditional hiring practices," which is precisely what this bill sets out to do. I ask unanimous consent to submit for the record a letter from Aon's CEO Greg Case highlighting their and other employees' excitement about the expansion of the registered apprenticeship system and demonstrating how many firms have not only not been hindered by the current registered system, but rather are enormously beneficiaries of it. We all talk a good game. One minute. One more minute.
Gentleman is recognized.
You get an additional minute.
Gentlewoman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. We all talk a good game in wanting to build this economy and build opportunities for our constituents who do not want to pursue a four-year degree. But we haven't put financial muscle and know-how behind creating these valued credentials that employees seek. In closing, I just want to make one point, that this legislation only codifies the standards for programs that have registered for access to the credentials and funding provided for in this bill. Unregistered workforce programs that do not want access to this bill's resources will not need to change their programs. We are simply strengthening the known registered apprenticeship system that is in place today. With more clearly established programs, families can sit down at the kitchen table, discuss their futures, and look to the rejuvenated registered apprenticeship system as one of many high-quality pathways to post-secondary education. I urge a yes vote, and I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.